We're delighted to welcome Jessica Herczeg-Konecny from the Detroit Institute of Arts for our closing session after an exceptional day of learning, networking, and building relationships across our cultural heritage community. Jessica is the DAM manager at the Detroit Institute of Arts. She's been working in the museum industry for over 10 years in archives, collections management, rights and reproductions, and of course, digital asset management. She's implemented the first ever DAM system at DIA. Many of us know her from her leadership role as co-chair of the MCN DAM Special Interest Group. Jessica, it's my pleasure to welcome you today, and we appreciate your making this presentation.
Thanks so much, David. I'm Jessica. My pronouns are she, her, and I've been at the DIA for almost 7 years now. Just real quick outline of the presentation. I have, we'll be going through an intro, a state of DAM at the DIA as some table setting, and the meat and potatoes of why you're all here regarding client experience. I should also mention that I'm trying to use the word client instead of users, since I'm not super keen on the word user. It seems really impersonal, and although it might be accurate, it doesn't really explain the relationship between DAM manager and internal clients. But let me know if you have thoughts about this. You'll hear me use both client and user in this presentation, and then we'll have some Q&A hopefully. The Detroit Institute of Arts was founded in 1885. This is an image of Rivera Court featuring the Detroit industry murals created by Diego Rivera in 1932 and 1933. The museum maintains an encyclopedic collection held in the public trust, ranging from ancient works to contemporary works from around the world. I want to acknowledge that the Detroit Institute of Arts sits on the traditional territory of the Fox, Peoria, Anishinaabe, Potawatomi, Mississauga, and Miami nations. Knowing where we live and work does not change the past, but understanding and acknowledging the history, culture, and impacts of colonial practices is an important step towards the creation of an equitable and sustainable future. I pay my respects to the past, present, and future Indigenous peoples around the Great Lakes region. So I want to provide a snapshot of the team and where we are right now. We have one full-time digital asset manager, yours truly, one part-time digital asset specialist, her name is Megan Finch, and we usually also have one full-time collections information management system manager and a full-time collections information specialist. We work in the research library, archives, and collections information department with the director of the research library and a part-time archivist. We currently have 2 DAM systems in the interest of full disclosure. We have not yet retired the inaugural system. Our old system is on-prem, the new system is in the cloud, and we are still working with a developer to finish an IPA for the DIA. The immediate goal is to communicate between the DAM and the collection management system. The old system only holds images of the collection. We are moving towards enterprise-wide DAM by uploading not just images of the art collection, but also documentary photography and conservation images. We've also started working with video and are currently actively onboarding and training internal users. So let's talk about getting buy-in from your clients. You're a DAMster, and we are in service roles. I like to say this isn't my system, this is our system. The institution has put a lot of investment of money and resources and into both this system and the collections management system, so let's put them to work. But you won't get very far with enterprise-wide DAM if the accounts lie dormant. Most of us who work in museums are probably in the photo studio or collections information or publishing. Maybe some of us are like our corporate counterparts and are in the marketing department. But we really need to think of ourselves as marketers. And I mean, we work with them enough. So what's your pithy elevator pitch. How do you get your clients on board? Lift your goals from the governance doc that I know you all have. We have branded our DAM the Digital Asset Bank, and that was based on a DAM user-wide vote at the DIA. So we say that the bank is central. We are gathering digital assets in a location that is secure and offers self-service access. We are providing assets and information our clients need to make informed decisions regarding use. How do we set our clients up for success? The digital asset specialist and I enlisted the help of 2 others to set up the landing page for the new digital asset bank. One was a longtime user for the first DAM, and the other was from the marketing and communications department. Both also have graphic design skills, which I do not have. The 4 of us conducted user interviews of clients from across the museum. We spent 20 to 30 minutes talking with our colleagues. Some had used the first system and some would be new to the new system. The DAM staff developed user personas or user types to create roles in the system. We know our clients well and how we can help them do their jobs. We also know the data very well, how it can and shouldn't be used. We also have the benefit of being able to tailor the training experience. Is someone new to museums? We talk about what an accession number is and why it's important. Is someone new to DAM? Here's what metadata means. And then a really key thing is the Copyright 101 or rights management. That's super important. We emphasize that this platform is a work in progress and something that we're all working on together. We share our roadmap for developing, what can they look forward to in the future. We also rely on our governance docs to avoid scope creep. The DAM system is not our single source of truth. We do have a collections information system. We have a content management system. We have a document management system. So we need to be thoughtful of what can and should go into our DAM. And we definitely don't want to recreate the mistakes we made on the shared drive. So part of what we do is think about how we group the information that we present to our users. What kind of information appears above the fold? This is an example that Megan created when we were discussing the order the metadata fields would appear for a certain set of assets related to the artwork. This really is just a simple planning doc, but it shows that we're thinking about, is this what I wanted? My search return what I wanted? And how can I use it? So the evergreen question, can I use this image? How do we help our clients get what they need when they need it? We have the metadata available, supplemented with training on each field, and we also train on file names. We want clients to be able to interpret what they're looking at. For images of the collection, they need to worry about copyright related to the artwork, image rights, as well as image quality. We try to keep it simple. Image quality is either publication quality or reference use only. And image rights relate to the image file. Did someone at the DIA take that image, or did we get it from somewhere else? We also have metadata related to images, for example, objects in storage. We don't want that to go on the web. We don't want those shared. It's a security risk. And so it actually explained in the DAM why an image is reference used only, or this is, you can't use this. So the next 2 slides are just examples from the user guide that I put together. We have the benefit that we are able to tailor the presentation depending on who we are training. For example, not everyone has the permission to upload to the DAM, so that would be excluded from their user guide. Another thing to make sure that you're aware of new arrivals and departures to and from your organization. Even with single sign-on, I need to delete accounts from the DAM on the back end. I really hope that one day we could be part of new employee training with HR and IT. This is another document that I created. I call it our data dictionary. This is something I picked up from a previous colleague. It would probably be easier as a wiki or in some kind of knowledge-based platform, but that's a tangent I won't get into. So this is a Word doc that I maintain. It is as basic as it looks. Here is the metadata field. Here is what it means. Here's where the data is coming from, who's responsible for it. And then I also tried to map to metadata schema where possible. This also has the benefit of keeping track of our decisions that we've made. This is how we've identified or defined this field. And it also keeps track of, or just another way to show the flow of data. This is a screenshot from our frequently asked questions page. This is also very much a work in progress. Clients have access to it right now, but it's not all completely finished. It just links to documents. Hopefully in the future, we can actually link to training videos, really just snippets. But this is another way to reinforce training with another reference guide. So we have the user guide, we have FAQs. If anyone has questions, I can refer them to specific pages. And this page is also available as a link from the DAM main page. I also recently started doing something called Bank Buzz. When we had our first DAM, I used to email users helpful hints every so often, not on a regular cadence. I was never really sure of the rate of opening and it kind of died out. So this year I set up Microsoft team for users of the digital asset bank. And weekly I share these Bank Buzz. They're just PDFs. There are 1 or 2 pagers saved in one location. So again, having a set place where people can find information. Content includes using quotation marks when searching, specific metadata fields like copyright status, categories, how to share publication quality tips, different object numbering conventions, questions to ask regarding image use. Some of these are items we might go over in training that need reinforcement, and some are just details like tips and tricks that we just don't get into that much of detail during training. It has also been a good area for feedback. Someone mentioned the Slack channel earlier, and that's how we're using our team. For example, this is an image of a cheat sheet I created regarding copyright status. I got input from people in exhibitions and registration and our deputy director. I should also note that this does not take into account any ethical or cultural sensitivity issues. This is all about copyright status for the artwork. So I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. But what was interesting, someone had asked, but what does non-commercial all standard museum actually mean? So I created another Bank Buzz that went into that, that's attached to this one. You've heard me use the phrase work in progress a lot today. I communicate a lot to our clients. These are ongoing processes, not projects. It's a good reminder to them that this is an ecosystem of data that's not static, and that this is something that we are trying to build together. We can use analytics to see who is downloading what our clients are searching for, how they are searching. We do review metadata through audits. I'm creating a formal DAM maintenance checklist, like basically trying to get what's in my brain on paper and calendarized. And I think I have it, I think it's set to monthly to do a metadata audit. If you have ideas on that, let me know. We look at uploads. We speak to clients during training, but also through follow-up on the team. Or sometimes if I see someone who's been working a lot in the DAM, I can speak to them individually. It's also an opportunity to provide more tailored training if someone has been missing the mark. So, hey, this is a required metadata field. I see you're not filling it in. Can we talk about it? I should also note that we don't have a lot of fields that are required. These informal interviews are also helpful. For example, the way that I think what exhibition images means versus what someone else thinks exhibition images means could be very different. So it is essential to have open communication lines so that people feel they are part of the process. We also get communication from our vendor regarding rollouts and changes that are coming so that we can learn about them and understand them. We don't have to keep clients apprised of everything, just the ones that are important to them. I want to hear your ideas too. For example, I've seen a DAM manager send out an email to clients, the first few people who find these specific assets and share with me via email will win a prize. How else can we gamify participation in the DAM? It came up this morning, but we also talked about donuts for descriptions for our documentary photography, where we would set time aside and have a bank of computers. But how can we do that virtually? And anytime we talk to clients directly, it's an opportunity to learn about what's going on in the museum, who has stashes of what digital assets, what people do, how they do it, and how we can help them. And we're also trying to empower others to help their colleagues. So if we get DAM champions trained, they can be good ambassadors. I have office hours on here. I tried holding them before, but it never worked out very well. So I'd be interested to hear from anyone who successfully managed it. I know Jennifer Seller talked about it earlier today. Pre-COVID, I would get a conference room, but no one would show. So I wonder if it would work better if I did something specific, like maybe targeted towards an activity I'm seeing in the DAM. Let's get together and talk about ways that searching is and is not working. We're pretty good when it comes to serving you what you need, but not as good at serving you what you didn't know you wanted, if that makes sense. Also, we've done user surveys in the past, basic usage and familiarity with the DAM, so very high level. And those were tied with grants, I believe. And we worked with the in-house evaluation team, but I'd like to do that again, maybe in a year after it's been rolled out. It's a big investment for the institution, so I just want to make sure we're getting our money's worth. And this is just a quick side to thank people. A lot of the ideas I've implemented over the years are riffs on things I've learned over the past 10 years or so of doing this kind of work. And then these are just my image credits. And again, this goes back to the general searching. I construct all of my presentations using images from the collection. I didn't know what I wanted exactly and had to come up with a lot of different search terms to find something that would fit this theme of each slide. I'm pretty good with knowing the kinds of things that are in the AAT, but that you have to think about, how would I approach the online collection if I'm not a researcher? So we actually need to talk to our audiences. So what kind of data do we create, and what kinds of data do we need to get better at? So thank you so much for attending this session, and I have my contact information here. Please reach out with questions or feedback.
Jessica, thanks so much. We're going to pretend like we could get in the car and actually travel together, and we're going to go back to Indiana, and we're going to have a little refresher course on when you learn to use flashcards. And okay, so we're going to ask you to answer questions kind of quickly, because we have some really fun ones.
Okay.
So we're going to do flashcard questions. First of all,
lightning
acronym.
round.
All right, ready? Acronym, please. You used AAT.
Oh, I did.
Which is inside baseball, and there's a lot
No,
of
you're right. I apologize. You're right. Yeah. So that's the Getty Art and Architecture thesaurus that we use in our collections database.
So that would be a reference document for spellings and official names and whatnot. Thank you.
Subject terms.
Excellent. We had a question come in. Do you use a specific software for DRM, for kind of encrypting rights?
No, we don't.
Okay. Have you developed a subset of metadata terms or something that adjudicate where something falls?
Right, exactly. So that a lot of, especially with the images of the collection, when things come in, the registration department handles a lot of what rights we have. And they're the ones that send out licenses, for example, for that non-standard or all standard museum use.
Okay. Well, and very closely allied to that, we had a question come in. Could you share again the explanation of non-commercial copyright?
Right. So that we have a license that gets sent out to artists and rights holders that allows for non-commercial use that also includes use. So, handouts or virtual field trips, website, but also publicity use, so that we could use in like our marketing department could use them. But so anything that's not commercial.
Not making canvas bags or postcards or
correct. That's a separate, yeah.
Great. And several people commented on your commentary about conducting metadata audits.
Yeah.
And I'll kind of wrap those up and synthesize them into just to give us a highlight. What's involved in a metadata audit?
You want to know? You want to know what I really do? I
think there's several people who do.
I export the data out of the DAM and into Excel. And then I look to see what fields aren't getting filled in, what still needs to be filled in. I do a sort. That's what I do. So if other people have other ideas, let me know. Please let me know, because that's literally what I do. I have specific fields that I look at that are crucial for the connection with our collections database. So those in particular are the ones that I look at. Thanks. But then, we can also do a more in-depth one into how people are spelling or things that look wonky. Some of our automatic metadata, like COVID, has been all broken out because it was all capitalized. So it's like C space O space, so things like that. When I saw it in the DAM, I was like, oh, we need to go back and fix some things.
Yeah, there's been the ever-changing landscape.
Yeah.
One of my favorite questions from executives or from DAM managers, and we're all talking together, is when an executive says, "Wait a minute, we did metadata already."
Yeah, right? Yeah. Like, we something as simple as BIPOC. We didn't have BIPOC until last year, so yeah, as terms change and, you know, you've talked about parametric metadata
Mhm.
before.
Yeah. Mhm.
We have to be ready for that.
As you've had the chance, we had an interesting question come in. As you've had the chance to, like many, many hundreds of institutions, evolve through a cycle of a digital asset management system, there were functional needs to replace it with a new system. What were a couple of suggestions, or I think the phrase was, do you have any tips from that experience about kind of getting ready for it or convincing your executives? We had a couple of different framings of that question.
So what was great about our first system is we learned a ton, and were able, when we wanted to expand it past just having images of the collection, we had a really good proof of concept, but also here's how we can do it better. And
Mhm.
when I want the audio and video files, I want, you know, so that was instrumental, like in proving to, you know, our strategy team, like we can make this bigger and better. And here's I mean I literally have an inventory of all the, you know, I have a capacity planning sheet here. Here are all of the other digital assets that are all over the museum. Here's what I can do if we can start centralizing and securing these assets. So that was, I think, the most important, you know, to get buy-in. We had proven ourselves. But I want to tell everybody, before you get into this, or if you're moving, just like have an exit strategy, because we did not have an exit strategy from our first stamp to the second one, and it was very challenging.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's always uncomfortable to put that into a contract, but it goes into every contract.
Yep, yep,
Yeah, and
and what
separating
it
out
means. Yeah.
what it means, separating out the binaries from the metadata. So
And
there.
it was hard too, I will say, communicating with IT, you know,
Mhm.
they had said, "Oh no, the vendor would do that." I'm like, "Our new vendor is not going to do that for us." So, yeah, roles and responsibilities are very important when it comes to this kind of work.
Practical, here's a good flashcard question. Do you get a report on unsuccessful or failed searches that you can use in the same way kind of with the
Yeah.
metadata audit?
Yeah. So that's in our, yeah, we have analytics for that, which are
How,
so useful.
oh, it's critical, yeah. How big is your client base?
Okay, so in the current, our old dam, we had 100. Right now, we have onboarded maybe a dozen or so.
Mhm.
It's a long story.
That's okay. And it's a journey. And I just got a clarification. This is someone who apologizes. She may have missed this, but could you re-describe your team who works with you really directly
Right.
on the
Yeah,
dam?
so there are so there's me and a part-time person. And then
Okay.
of course with IT and then collections
And
specialists.
if I were elsewhere in Detroit or elsewhere in the world, are there other places where parts of the collection are exported to? We haven't, somebody asked about where else do the assets end up?
Oh, well, they're on our online collections. Is that what
Okay,
they mean?
I
Or
think so. And go
we
ahead.
also share with the College for Creative Studies. We share with them. We do licensing through Bridgman Images.
Hmm. Great. And where is that college housed?
The College for Creative Studies.
Yes.
It's in Detroit, next door,
Yeah.
next door to the
Okay.
DIA.
Great. Well, Jessica, this finds us near the end of our time and the end of our day together. I'd like to thank you for sharing your presentation and your journey with the community worldwide, many of whom are walking down similar pathways. And thank you for your hard work and for putting this together. It's much
Thank you.
appreciated.
Thank you so much.